The anniversary of 9/11 is also marked in Afghanistan. The tragedy provoked a UN-sanctioned force of Canada and 35 other nations to try to bring peace and security to a country on the brink of ruin. That gave this woman the chance to successfully run for parliament in Afghanistan. Fawzia Koofi saw her father, brother, and husband all die in Afghanistan's wars and its Taliban oppression. Her own life is still at risk.
Before 2001, people of Afghanistan were claiming that we are a victim of terrorism. But the world community was saying that it's a civil war, leave the people to deal with this. It was until the 11th September attack that you realized that we need to do something about this country.
The response led troops into an Afghanistan that was broken and paralyzed. Over 1 million children had died in the warring nation. The invasion brought changes that allowed some women access to education and health care. Hospitals like this one were operated with unprecedented cooperation and help from abroad. There are still over 100,000 NATO troops stationed in Afghanistan, but the countries supplying these peacekeeping forces are tiring of the long mission. When Canada withdrew its military troops, Fawzia pleaded that we give her country more time and more sacrifice.
I believe if not a proper solution is found and this war is not properly ended and you leave Afghanistan, the consequences of insecurity in Afghanistan can change Afghanistan once again to a safe haven for terrorism, and once again your borders could be attacked. And the consequences on us as activists, or as at least somebody who can raise the voice, is much more even dangerous. I don't want to even talk about it, that how dangerous it could be to me, my daughters, or other women who raise their voices. But I want to warn you that if this war is finished improperly, it's going to be much more dangerous on you.
What will it look like to have it end properly?
Properly means a regional political solution, because we all know that Afghanistan is a battlefield between the regional powers. Properly means supporting Afghan forces to strengthen their capacity, equip them properly, because right now the equipments we use as a country, our forces use, are less advanced than the ones that Taliban use. Given our vulnerabilities, uncontrolled border with our neighboring countries, our neighboring countries reshaping, both Iran and Pakistan, reshaping themselves to influence the situation after the withdrawal, this will change Afghanistan to a worse situation. So there is need for a regional diplomacy. I think some countries in the West need to stop giving blank checks to our neighboring countries.
You have written your dreams for your country in your book, Letters to My Daughters. Why was it important to write this book now?
First of all, I wanted to leave my legacy to my daughters, and I wanted them to understand that how important it is to bring a change, even if that change may require to sacrifice your life. But it's worth it, because you can change the life of another person. And second is, Afghanistan image is always a country that produces war and terrorism, which the other side of the story is Afghanistan is not just a poor country and poor woman of Afghanistan. It's a country full of traditions, values, family values, relationship. That face of Afghanistan needs to be properly demonstrated to the world. And that way I wanted to gain the world's support to my country, but also I wanted to partner with the women in the world to support women of Afghanistan, because they're not just poor women of Afghanistan. They're poor, they're illiterate, they're affected by different kinds of diseases, and they suffer from that. Becoming a mother is much more difficult in Afghanistan as it is in your countries. Afghanistan is the worst place in the world to be a mother. I wanted to have the network and support, and I wanted my voice to be heard and to be read by strong women and men in your countries, and to partner with me.
Your drive is remarkable. It's admired around the world. How much of it comes from your spiritual faith?
I'm a moderate Muslim. I believe with modern Islam, we can live with the world and we can live with our people. We have experienced extremists of left and extremists of right. It doesn't help the situation in Afghanistan. During communist back regime, it was a government controlled by communists, and there was a group who stood against them. During Taliban, they were demonstrating extreme form of Islam. It doesn't help the country. I believe in a modern Islam, and I believe that an Islam which is not mixed with tradition. We can live with the world and we can live with our people. Right now, what we have experienced, or what we are experiencing as women in Afghanistan, is basically tradition imposed on us.
After 9/11, Fawzia entered Afghanistan's politics because she felt it was the best place for women to lead.
And I thought that politics or parliament is a place where you could at least raise your voice, even if you can't make a big difference, but you can freely raise your voice.
Fawzia plans to continue serving in Parliament and to one day run for president. She hopes getting more women into Parliament will go a long way in liberating the rest.
All the interpreters of Islam is men, so they usually interpret the way they want and impose what they want on women. If we're really given the rights that is there in Quran, that's a progress. But unfortunately, it's a mix of tradition, misinterpretation of the men, politicizing Islam, and that's what, it's very easy to politicize Islam against women.
This makes Fawzia's mission dangerous, but like the lesson she wants to leave to her daughters, she says it's worth the cost to know she is creating change that will improve the lives of others.
But I think they will target more women because by that way, they can silence the woman voice. And it's very important for them if they, for instance, attack me as a public figure in Afghanistan, that people know me, and perhaps many people, after I came to politics, I paved the way for them to come, and they now dare to come. Perhaps they will stop their movement as well.
When we return, the ongoing struggle to allow Muslims to build a mosque near Ground Zero.
I myself think it's very insensitive. It's not sensitive towards the Americans.
And it seems that there is something untoward about what is happening, and I think that further discussions and investigations need to happen.
I have a feeling that the planners are out of touch with how those of us who suffered feel.
This is a free country, so if the law requires every American is to have their freedom of religion, why not Muslims?
I don't think the debate is so much about can Muslims be trusted, because we never asked this of any other religious community.
You have the right to build this center exactly the way you planned, and if that's how you want to go ahead, I will defend your right to do that. But I think that you will more wisely accomplish the goals you want to if you're sensitive to the tremendous pain that millions of Americans are feeling over this.